Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to have a chat about why I believe long distance relationships are a far better option than your traditional relationships. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Video. Yeah, you can
Hello.
Oh, big shark. So what I'm about to talk about is my own opinion from my own personal experience. So I'm sure everyone has a different experience, but this is what I believe to be the truth in regards to why a long distance relationship is better than any traditional relationship. Now, I've been in several long-term traditional relationships over the years here in Australia, and you think they're going along well, but they end up in a bit of a disaster, really, that I've found. And it got me thinking why that might be the case. Whereas the relationship I'm in with now, with my Filipina wife, it started out obviously as a long distance relationship, and it's a super relationship. I haven't had a relationship like this before, so it got me thinking why that is the case. Now, I believe when you start a relationship, people focus on a traditional relationship, face to face, when you're living together in the same area and all that sort of stuff. People focus more on the physical aspect. So when you first fall in love with somebody, or you start dating somebody, it's more about the physical aspect, I believe, in a lot of ways. But when you're in a long distance relationship, that physical aspect is taken out of it. You focus more on the person, because you're communicating via Skype or Facebook, where you're typing and chatting to each other, or you're on the video link ups, that sort of thing. So you're actually learning more about the person, and you're more genuinely interested in who that person is, and not so much their physical appearances or whatever. So I think that's the first big point, and through that you get to know each other very well, a lot better. In a lot of ways it amplifies the process, I guess. Because you're concentrating on each other and who that person really is, it speeds up the process. Like as I say, it amplifies it, and you learn about the person a lot quicker than you would in a traditional relationship. The times that you're away from that person, so sometimes you can have long gaps, 6 months, maybe 12 months at a time, and it really helps to send that message home how much you enjoy being with that person when you're there, and how much you miss them when you're away from them. So you tend not to take them for granted when you are with them. You remember those times because they've been such a long break of time. Now, in a traditional relationship, you're basically with each other all the time at the start there, or several days a week. You don't really get a break from each other, and you don't really get that opportunity to sit back on your own and think about things. The long distance relationships help to build that trust factor, because that person, they might be thousands of miles away from you, but they're trustworthy because they're not out running around and doing things behind your back. And I think it builds that trust factor faster. I'm not saying that traditional relationships everyone's going to be running around and doing these things, maybe not, but to me it amplifies that fact that if they can be so far away from where I am, or me, and they're still remaining faithful and true and honest and all these things, well, that's the person they really are. There's no fronts put on. That's who they are, and they're proving it by their actions. And I think that amplifies that message as well. As I say, through all these things, the relationship will develop a lot quicker than a normal relationship, which, as I say, is based more on a physical thing at the start, and it takes maybe, you know, a good 12 months before that physical aspect will wear off and you start to then dig into who that person is, if that makes sense to you guys. So with a long distance relationship, you're doing it in reverse. You're actually finding out about that person and who they really are at the start, and I think that builds that solid foundation from the word go. The times that you're talking and chatting, it really helps to build those communication skills. So especially when, you know, you've got two different countries, you know, coming together, and one person may not be great at English, it helps to build those skills and helps to communicate with each other in a way that is very beneficial. You know, they say in any relationship it takes good communication to succeed, and this is the building blocks of that at the very start of the relationship. And I guess while you're away from somebody, it really gives you that clarity to think about the relationship and say, well, is this for me? You know, like when you're in a traditional relationship, you're together all the time, you don't often get that time to think, you know, for days on end, you know, or even, you know, over a period of a couple of months, because you're with each other all the time, and you can lose that clarity. You can start to think, oh, maybe this relationship isn't right for me, but then you get together again and it all changes, you know what I mean? Like you don't really think so clearly. But I've found when you've got distance and space between you're actually thinking a lot more clearly about the relationship, and you tend to make a better decision around that relationship. And in my case, you know, I did just that, and you know, we've been, you know, together at 4 years, and it's still going fantastic, and it's actually getting better every day. So I don't see, you know, as far as I'm concerned, and from my experiences, the long distance relationship format, if you like, you know, learning about each other first and the physical aspect later, communication, you know, building the building blocks, that relationship, the parts of a relationship that matter for the long term, develop early on, and as a result, you actually, it sets you up for success, a healthy relationship. So that's just my opinion on what a lot of the reasons why a long distance relationship is beneficial. Now, I never ever considered a long distance relationship, you know, before. All my relationships were, you know, here in Australia, and you know, I never really considered it until you know, several years ago. And I would certainly recommend to people who haven't tried it to give it a go. Keep your mind open to it. Don't rule it out. So, oh, long distance relationships, they're no good, blah blah blah. I used to think that, but you know, life has taught me differently, and you know, it's really the best thing that's ever happened to me. So think about it, and you know, if you've ever thought it's not for you, well, you know, there's always that option. So keep your mind open and see how it goes. But that's my experiences. I'd like to hear from anyone else out there who is in a long distance relationship. I know many of you guys are. That's why you watch this channel, or you'd like to be. I'd like to hear all your comments about your experiences, or what you think about long distance relationships. That would be fantastic. So put your comments below. Don't forget to share the video around with people who may enjoy this topic, or might be looking at long distance relationships, or being in a long distance relationship. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more videos, and of course hit the like button as well. Alright guys, appreciate you watching. Thanks very much for being subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, as I say, hit that button, and we'll catch you next time. Plenty of stuff coming up. Bye for now. Take care.